My light-skinned Caucasian wife told me she was on a week-long work trip. But the call I got at midnight wasn't from her, it was from the hospital.
My wife said she was going on a week-long work trip. I remember how carefully she packed, how confidently she smiled as she told me not to worry. I tried so hard to trust her. I wanted to believe that our marriage, our life together, was stronger than the quiet doubts that whispered in the back of my mind. The first 2 days were normal. We texted, we called, it felt fine. But on the third night, everything changed. She stopped answering my calls. Her texts, when they came, were short, clipped. Her tone felt distant, like she was a million miles away, and not just physically. I told myself she was just busy with work. I tried to reason with the growing anxiety, tried to sleep, but the worry kept me awake. At midnight on the fifth night, my phone rang, lighting up the dark bedroom. It was the hospital. The voice on the other end was calm, professional, but the words hit me like a physical blow. They asked me to come in immediately. They said my wife had been in an accident and had listed me as her emergency contact. My stomach twisted into a knot. 1,000 worst-case scenarios flooded my mind as I threw on clothes and rushed to the hospital, my heart pounding with terror. When I finally arrived, a nurse led me down a sterile hallway to her room, and there she was. She looked so small in the hospital bed, shaken and utterly exhausted. The moment our eyes met, she just broke down, tears streaming down her face. She told me she'd been in an accident, that she was scared, that she needed me. The relief that she was alive was quickly followed by a cold, sinking feeling. I had to ask, "What about the trip?" She hesitated, and in that small pause, I felt the ground crumble beneath me. She finally admitted she hadn't gone alone. A coworker had joined her. She called him a friend, but the way she said it, the way she couldn't look me in the eye, told me everything. I knew better. The truth came out in a torrent of sobs and confessions. They had shared a room, they had gotten close, they had been together for months. Each word was a punch to the gut. My chest felt hollow, like all the air had been sucked out of the room, out of my life. She tried to blame it on stress from her job, on a feeling of loneliness she claimed she couldn't talk to me about. But none of it mattered. The excuses were just noise. She said the accident happened after they had a huge argument. And then the ultimate betrayal, he left her there. After the crash, he just walked away, leaving her injured and alone on the side of the road. He didn't care what happened to her. And in that moment I didn't know what to feel, anger, pity. A strange, numb part of me still cared for the woman I married, but another part of me felt absolutely nothing at all. She asked me to take her home. The drive was suffocatingly silent, broken only by her quiet apologies and pleas for another chance. I couldn't bring myself to respond. I just kept my eyes on the road, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. When we walked into our house, she saw our living room, filled with photos of us, of our life, and she collapsed into a fresh wave of tears. "I don't deserve you," she whispered. I didn't argue. The next day, while she slept, I did something I never thought I would. I checked her phone. I needed to know. Everything she had admitted was true, but seeing it in black and white was so much worse. The messages between them were sickening. And then I saw it, the message that shattered whatever was left of my heart. She had told him she was planning to leave me. She had called me easy to replace. Reading those words broke something inside me, something that could never be fixed. Later, she tried to talk to me again, to explain, to beg, but I couldn't hear it anymore. I looked at her and said, "I'm done." The words hung in the air between us. She collapsed to the floor, sobbing, saying she couldn't imagine her life without me. All I could think to say was, "You should have thought of that before." She begged me to wait, to think about it, but my mind was made up. I went to our bedroom and packed a bag. I told her I needed space, that I couldn't be in that house with her. As I tried to leave, she grabbed my arm, her grip desperate. "Please," she begged, "don't go." I looked at her hand on my arm and said, "Let go." She finally did. I drove to my brother's house, the world a blur. For the next few days, my phone was a constant barrage, dozens of missed calls. A flood of long, rambling messages filled with apologies and promises. I ignored them all. I couldn't engage. I needed silence. A week later, she showed up at my brother's front door. She looked awful. Pale, tired, her eyes red from crying, she just wanted to talk. I stepped outside, closing the door behind me. She told me the other man had blocked her number, cut off all contact. She kept repeating it, almost in disbelief. I lost everything for nothing, she said, looking to me for some kind of comfort. Can you ever forgive me? She asked. I took a deep breath. Forgiveness isn't the same as reconciliation, I told her. She went quiet, the last bit of hope draining from her face. So it's over? She whispered. Yes, I said. It's over. The tears started again, but this time I felt nothing. I just stood there as she cried, and then she slowly turned and walked away, looking completely broken. I, on the other hand, felt strangely calm. Over the next month, she tried a few more times, sending polite, formal messages. I kept my replies short and to the point. Eventually, the messages stopped. I filed for divorce. She didn't contest a single thing. The whole process was over faster than I expected. I moved into a smaller place just for me. And a strange thing started to happen. I started sleeping through the night again. I started enjoying food. I felt lighter, like I had been carrying a massive weight for years without even realizing it. My life was finally my own again. One day, months later, I got one final message from her. It just said, I hope you find someone who deserves you. I read it and I deleted it without responding. I didn't need to. I had found something much more important. I had found peace. Thanks for listening.